Keep showing up. Hello, family. How are you? How are you all doing today? Welcome. It's time with Dr. Lina. How are you doing? Welcome. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. And I'll turn on the light. Let's turn on the light to see how are you doing. Welcome. Let's turn on the light. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, guys. How are you? How are you doing? Welcome. How are you? Today we're going to be talking about something very important. We're talking about where does the multimillionaires and the billionaires, where do they put their money? So that you can definitely reapply and achieve the same result, right? Achieve the same result. This is lunchtime with Dr. Lina. Lunchtime with Dr. Lina, and I'm just trying to keep my natural hair really nice. Welcome. Thank you for sharing the life with your friends and your family. Yes, it's been a minute out here. How are you all doing? Can you imagine it's almost half of the month? Half of the month. How are you doing with those goals? Where are you connecting from? Let me know where you're connecting from. Welcome. And if you are yet to subscribe, consider doing that. I love to meet people. Okay, that's part of my goal to meet you, to know where you are coming from. Welcome. So today we're going to be talking about where the world they put their money, and you can reapply the same thing shamelessly. Okay, because you cannot do the same thing and get a different result. No, it doesn't work that way. If you do this, if you do the same thing, you get a similar result. Okay, you get a similar result, and that's what this is all about, right? Because making money is starts with a mindset. So where does the multimillionaire, and we say multi, that is high net worth individuals, where do they put their money? Trust me, I can tell you it is not in the 9 to 5, it's not in the salary, it's not in any of those places. It's in something else. Definitely not in the bank. Nothing in Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo. Definitely not. How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. How are you all doing today? How are you doing today? And I'm just checking. Yeah, can we change? Hello. How are you doing? Welcome. Uh, where is the board? Welcome. How are you doing? Uh, welcome. How are you all doing? We're talking about what's the showing? What's the showing? Hello, real estate professor. How are you? And I was just trying to change the board. Welcome. Uh, 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 what's going on here? We had a different board go. Okay. How are you all doing? Today we're talking about something different. We're talking about where does the world put their money, and how you can reapply the same thing. That's what we're talking about. Okay. And definitely it's not in the bank account, and it is not the paycheck. It is not that paycheck. One thing I always say is that the the schools that you've been trained to get the skills to earn, they teach us how to earn, but nobody teaches us how to build wealth. Nobody teaches us, and that's why we are learning that right now. So welcome. If you have not followed, if you have not subscribed, consider doing that. We'll talk about this. It's just about building wealth. If you are meeting me for the first time, Dr. Lina, Doctor of Business and Technology. Cal Zad, welcome. Nazir, welcome. And we're starting almost immediately while we are. Let's share the life. Let's share the life so that we can have more people come and learn how to build wealth. My goal is to create as many millionaires as we can so that we can reduce the crime rate and, of course, reduce poverty. That's me giving back to the society. Okay, because we were taught the same thing: go to college, find a good job, and everything will be all right. But how is that working? You realize that you're getting the money, but what do you use it for? You use it to pay bills. But understanding that you will have to continue with that life for you to be able to, you have to continue to do that job for you to be able to be able to staff up the hamster wheel, for you to get off 9 to 5, for you to do all of that. You have to build wealth in a different way. Okay, We have to build wealth in a different way. And today we're talking about where the wealthy put their money. Where do they put their money? And why is this important? It is important for you to know, because if you do the same thing as the wealthy, the chances of you not becoming wealthy is very, very slim. You cannot do the same thing and expect a different result. Okay. That is what we're talking about. Getting your salary every single month, right? Getting your salary and using it every single month to fund the lifestyle. What you realize is that you are just basically funding, you're just living to, how do I put it? Living to pay bills. But life is way beyond that. Okay? Life is way beyond that. So if you have not followed, consider following. If you have not subscribed, consider doing that, because the goal is for us to build lasting wealth. It's the goal is not for us to just keep working and just pay. You're working and you're just paying bills. You're working, you're paying bills. Your salary is designed to just keep you right there. Work, pay bills, work, pay bills, right? Salary, pay bills. But no, for you to build wealth, to be able to say that, okay, you are replacing it, you have to do something differently, okay? Which is what the wealthy do differently. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Let's share the life. Let's tap it out and let us share the life in. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. If you're meeting me for the first time, I'm Doctor of Business and Technology. I'm not a doctor of medicine. Business and technology. I am a serial investor. I do manage double-digit real estate portfolio, and of course, I do invest in things that build wealth, helping others, professionals, to build lasting wealth, to build wealth. That's my goal, because I understand that salary will not help you to build wealth. It depends on what you do with it. Okay, it's just a tool. Okay, look at your salaries. Some of us have worked. What time is it right now? 12:40. Some of us have already worked 4 hours 40 minutes today. And guess what? You have been paid for that, or you will be paid for that in the future. But it's what you do with that income. If you take that income, it means, and you just use it to buy things, you use it to pay bills. It just simply means that you are just working to pay bills. You are just working to just live a life. That's what you're doing. And what that means is that when that salary is no longer there, when that income is no longer there, you cannot fund that lifestyle. That's what it simply means. So thank you for sharing the life. But what do you need to do differently? And that is what the wealthy, that's what they do differently. And that's what we are here to talk about. So consider following, consider subscribing, and consider, if you haven't done that, you want to do that so that you can learn how to build wealth. All right? We've established that. One of the books that I always talk about, this is what helps me in my journey, because I always thought that, having to work night, I am a vice president of technology. My day job is that. And I realized that, okay, you know what? It's paying well, it's decent, but I'm still stuck one way or the other. Okay, I'm still stuck, and that's where I started trying to figure out how then can I build wealth, because it means that with this vice president paying job, I can. It means that if I'm not there, it means that I cannot get income. I cannot take care of my bills. I cannot fund my lifestyle. So I needed to figure out what is the way, what other way works, right? What other way works? And that's how I got into understand where did they put their money? Because if I understand where they put their money, I am who I am, and every other person joining, welcome. If I understand where they put their money, I would definitely achieve the same result. Because if you look at, there was one video that I saw, or you probably would have heard this, that as a salary earner, or you earn a paycheck, or you are an employee, the best you can, when you look at the ranking of the percentage of the millionaires or the billionaires or the ultra wealthy, you almost find 0% of them that are employees. And that should get our mind curious to understand. So then, if I'm working 9 to 5 and I'm still not building wealth, okay, we don't have employees in this category. So how can and I am an employee and I want to build wealth? That means I'm in the wrong place, or I'm in the wrong category, right? Or what do I need to understand the people that are wealthy, the 1%, or not even 1%, let's say 30% of the 30%. Where do they now put their money? What made them wealthy? When I was in Procter & Gamble, I worked in a Procter & Gamble for 8 years. When I was in that organization, they would say something. Do not just don't reinvent the wheel. Just shamelessly reapply. Okay, shamelessly reapply, because if you do the same thing, you achieve the same result. Okay, so and that is the same strategy I bought here. Thank you for sharing the like. Thank you all for likes, for the likes. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. So we'll go straight into it. So where does the wealthy, as part of my research, where do they put their money? I realized one thing: when the wealthy, except that a few of them that got inheritance, right? Trust kids, which is, by the way, is just a few of the ultra wealthy that got their trust kids. You'll be so amazed. Most ultra wealthy, or the wealthy individuals, they are, and you can search it yourself. Okay, you realize that they are self-made. Self-made. So it gives us, no matter the background where you are from, no matter, your parents, if you are not a trust kid, or they did not give you money, or you did not win a jackpot, it means that you can succeed, because it means that we have already have people that are walking the same path, walk the same journey, but then they succeeded. And that's it, which is very interesting, because I realized that. So it means that I am not coming from wealth, or not being a trust kid. It means that I can also achieve it, right? So I looked at it and I said, okay, I realized that all of them either start with their income, like their salary, right? But what differentiates them is what they do with their salary. Okay, what they do with the salary. Most of them, they started with, they started earning decent income, like, they're earning six figures, or even, of that range, right? 100,000 and above, or maybe even a little bit less than that. They earn that. But then when they take this money, they start putting some of them towards a business, towards a savings, towards something else. So it's not like they were using it to buy luxury items. They weren't buying. They started focusing on delayed gratification, something called delayed gratification. So if they took some of this money, they would use it to fund their basic needs, and then they put it to. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the like, and thank you for sharing the live, so that we can have some other people learn this, right? Because in school, trust me, they all teach us one thing. They teach us to learn, to get that skill, your 9 to 5. That's what we were taught. But we were not taught how to build wealth. Nobody taught us. If they taught you, please let me know. Put in the comment section, because I would love to know. I wasn't taught that. Okay, and that's why we're having this. So for the multimillionaires and the billionaires, multimillionaires, let's even start with that. I realized that they started with their income, or either they, okay, great. Real estate professor said, "Hey, professor, that's amazing." Real estate professor, and they said, "Nope, or nope." That's it. A lot of us, I would say that, except for people that went for a business degree, even me being a doctor of business, it's, except for we have some analysis or whatever. That's when, yeah, and I teach law. Yeah. So it starts with your income. This is it. That's where it starts from. Now, when you have this income, what you most of the time, what we were taught is, you have the income, you get a nice credit card, you buy a house on mortgage, then you get a car, a nice car, and you are paying a car note on it, and then you have your family, you wear nice clothes, it doesn't really matter. So far you can pay your bills, life is good. Okay, the next paycheck you do the same thing, the next paycheck. So again and again, and that is what is called hamster wheel. That is what is called rat race. That is what is called paycheck to paycheck, because you are taking all the money from your income and you are putting it. Hello, Misu Kazaro Jobi. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and thank you for following. So you have the salary, right? And then they'll say that, okay, use it to fund this lifestyle. But what they did not tell you is that if you just use it to fund the lifestyle, you would have to keep doing the same thing. Come back tomorrow, okay? And then you do the same job and you still get paid, then you fund the lifestyle, right? That's what you do. However, what the wealthy do is they fail to follow the norm, right? Because this norm will keep you there to 65. But then what do they do? Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Instead of that, they will take this money use some of it to fund this lifestyle. And there's something called here delayed gratification. Then they go this route, right? This is the route. They would go here. What is here? This is asset and investment. So they take some of their income, ideally in this family or in this community, I would say 50%. And you might say, oh, 50%, I'm even barely just making. That's fine. Even if you start with 10%, let your goal, because you have to set a goal for yourself. Let your goal be like, you know what, I am going to aim at 50%. So what would you do? In case you have a salary increase, what are you going to do? You are still going to maintain the same lifestyle. You don't increase your lifestyle. You don't allow lifestyle creep to take over, right? You still keep it as it is, right? So but you let's assume, I'm just saying, if you cannot do 50% of your income right now, you living on 50%. The other thing is that you look at your statement of account, you are reviewing it, and you're like, you know what, this statement of account, what are the expenses, all those things that I bought on Amazon, all those Starbucks that I'm drinking every day. Can I turn my drinking of Starbucks to investment? Can I make my Starbucks from home? That's another way. Another thing that you can also think about, okay, this lunch that I'm making, that I'm buying $25, $20, $15, can I replace it from home? These are things that I love to take smoothie. I started making it from home. You realize that your goal, because you set a goal. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for the follow. Now, you realize that because you have set a goal. Wemi, welcome back. How are you today? See, because you have set a goal of 50%, right? What you realize is that every single time that you have extra money, like you have the bonus, it comes in. You realize that maturity, thank you. I like the awesome. Every single time that you have the extra money, it goes towards that your goal of the 50%. But if you don't have a goal and you just say, you know what, it's whatever that is left over that I'm going to keep, you realize that you have nothing left to keep. All right, I'm good. Awesome. You will realize that you have nothing less to keep. So, and that is what the wealthy, that's what they do. They pay themselves first. What does it mean by paying themselves first? They will take some of they take some of it that goes to expenses, but they first of all deduct the one that is going to help them build wealth. Because building wealth is what is going to give you financial freedom. And what is Robbie? Welcome. How are you today? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you so much for saying I'm pretty. Yeah, thank you. Now, having said that, and if you're wondering, the TT community and the white community, I do have YouTube on one side. I have TikTok, so that we can. It's about efficiency. Is about making more impact. So you take 50%. So you have a goal of 50%, to say that you are putting it towards your financial freedom. You're putting it towards your wealth building. Remember, this is the part that is wealth building. This is the part that is going to move you from the category of being a poor dad to a rich dad, regardless of how much you're earning. Remember, I never put a number to it. I said a percentage. So if you're earning 100,000, it means you're putting 50,000 aside. If you're earning 50,000, you're putting 25,000 aside, something of that nature. And like I said, no pressure. Just start with whatever. Yeah, Missouri. Yeah, start with whatever you can. Okay, start with whatever you can. Even if it's 10%, just put it aside. It is called paying yourself first, and that is the wealthy people. That is what they do. Okay, that is what they do. The second thing, the second thing that the wealthy do is they don't put money. Of course, remember, we are saving right now. The first thing is what? Savings. Savings, okay? That's the first thing. You are saving. Number two thing that they do is they don't allow lifestyle creep. They don't. They are not buying luxury items. They are just focused on their basic needs. You'll be so surprised, because if you do a research, there was something that I read recently. They said 77% of the luxury items are bought by the middle class. 77%. So it means that the wealthy and the ultra wealthy know something better. It's the wealthy people. I mean, the The middle class, they are the ones that are trying to impress people. They are the one that are trying to be rich. Okay, you're trying to be rich instead of focusing on being rich. The wealthy focus on being rich, not trying to look rich. The the middle class is focusing on being looking rich. So you buy the purse, you buy that luxury car, you would want to change your car every 3 years and it has to be brand new, or you don't have the money, right? You just feel that you have the money. So far, your credit card can pay you. So far, the credit card is able, or your paycheck can pay for that thing every single month. But guess what? The debtor, I mean the debtor, the is it the lender, other person, let me put it that way, is all okay. If you buy all of these things on credit, you are a slave to the lender. So the wealthy behave differently. Is this information or not? Yeah, it is. It is. If you are borrowing something, you say that okay, because you are buying a car, let's say $50,000, okay, but you know that okay, every single month you can afford to pay the car note. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to buy a car, right? If you listen, but if you say that okay, because I can pay my paycheck can pay for this car note, and because of that, that's why you bought a car of 50,000, even though in real sense you only need a car of 30,000. It means that you have to continue to do that job to be able to fund that life. Okay, and that is what the wealthy don't do. They don't allow lifestyle creep. They don't. They don't focus on luxury items. All right. So that's the second. So number one is savings. Number two is they avoid lifestyle creep. All right. Number three is the wealthy. They will put their money in asset generating investments. Asset generating whatever is generating asset. So buying a car is not an asset. Okay, all right. It's not buying a car is not an asset because it depreciates in value. What is an asset? An asset is anything that you can put your money into that is going to return money for you. The goal is that when you put money in, if you put your money towards something that is not generating, yeah, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Asset is something that you put your money, and thank you for following, thank you for subscribing. If you can, I know we are all locked in, can we just keep tapping, let's keep tapping and on this side of Titi so that we can get more people to this live. If you can also share, that would be great so that people can come and learn. Let's learn. We already know that we were not taught this in school. We were not. I'm so happy to see someone who is actually saying things that help people. Awesome, Lolo. That's it. That's it. I am taking my lunch time to teach this from work because I am a vice president of technology. But I realized that even with my vice president job, I would continue to hand that income, but then I will have to continue working every single day till 65 to be able to fund the lifestyle. And I say no, right? I want to work because I'm working because I want to, not that I'm working because I have to. Two different things. I have to because I have to pay bills. That's why I'm working. I want to because I love my job. That is why. Welcome back. And thank you all for sharing the live. Thank you all for tapping it out. That's yes, two different things. Let's keep tapping, let's give all of the lights and let's share. And if you're wondering how to share, and for the YouTube community, we do have the TT on the other side. Just press my forehead, you see your contact and share with them. This is something we were not taught in college, right? This is and it has worked for me. So I'm not telling you what I don't know, right? So you take the wealthy, no, and it is no simple accounts, no, yes, okay. So no, I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not a realtor. I am just an individual that helps professional build lasting wealth. That's it. That's my goal. I am not here to talk about options trading or anything or any of those things. So having said that, You take whatever. The wealthy are not putting their money in like trying to impress others. Then the third thing is that they put their money in assets, right? Something that is generating income. Something, because think about it, you have worked 4.5 hours or 5 hours today, right? That 5 hours, you are the only one, you are just you, right? You cannot replicate that. You need to, it means that you need to continue to work, tap, 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 and work, and get money. That's what you're doing. Tap, 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 work, and get money, right? That's what you're doing. But you cannot, it cannot be two of you. So it's only one money that you can get if there's anything like that. Now, on top of that, you if you so far you are doing this, you will continue to make money. You'll be able to fund the lifestyle. But when you take this money, some of it you use it to put it into an asset, right? You put it in an asset, and then it start generating money. Real estate professor Lola, Wemi, Esklesi, Kim Oti. If you put the money, Pike, welcome. If you put the money towards assets, you realize one thing. You realize is that it gets to a certain point that your money it starts to work harder than you do. It means that, or it gets to a certain point that your income, this salary that you have been working for, it can now be replaced by another form of income. Thank you so much for the daily acme. Yeah. uh, so it helps you. Save some of it. Remember, we said 50%, right? Right? 50% is your goal, right? Just start anywhere, but 50% is your goal. You put it towards assets. And then our assets, guess what? Let's assume that you have 100,000, or let's put it as you have 100,000, but every month that 100,000 that you have, you put it somewhere and it's generating every single month is giving you 5,000. I'm not saying that's whatever, but let's say it gives you 5,000. That is what we call that's how you build wealth, because it doesn't require you. It's not your blood and your life or your time. It is not that, and that is bringing money for you. All right, it means that you are now having other sources of income. You have yourself working on that end, but then you have your money also still working on the other end. And that is where the wealthy, that is how they build wealth. Now you're wondering, so what sort of assets do they put their money into? The wealthy, they don't do, they, this is they don't do gambling, all right? Right? I'm talking about ultra wealthy. So like the Warren Buffett of this world. They don't put their money in gambling. So what do I mean by gambling? I'm not talking about Las Vegas. That's not what I mean. Even though that's also an example. They put their money where it's almost safe, steady. It's not about, for them, it's not about get rich quick scheme. It's not about, oh, what is the next biggest thing, right? They are consistent. They are consistent. They are not looking for get rich quick scheme. They are just looking for safe vehicles that is going to help them build wealth, right? And most importantly, they have structure, because they want to make sure that this money that I'm making, right? I am able to put it. I can scale it. That's number one. It can be a wealth. It can be wealth that can go beyond me, right? It's not just for them, but they also teach it to their children and their children's children. So can you teach your children how to, even if you do day trading today, it's possible that your children don't know how to day trade. And because day trading is almost like, you can win it, you might lose it. You might win it, you can lose it. I lost money there. I lost almost 100,000 day trading, doing options trading, doing a penny stock. So the wealthy don't want to lose money. They stay consistent. They are not looking for the next, they're not looking for hypes. No, they're not doing that. They're just doing simple investing. And I'll give you a real life example. When they asked Warren Buffett is the what's it called? Beckhamshire, is it what's his name? Is wealth company, Warren Buffett. Let me just so you understand, because I keep talking about him every single time. Um, let's who Warren Buffett is. He's an American investor and a philanthropist who is the chairman and CEO of the conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway. As a result of his success, right? I want to see his net worth right now. Where is it? Some of the things that they said, he bought land when he was 14 years old at 1200. By the time he graduated, he had 9,800. He saved 132,000. So this guy is a multi millionaire. Welcome. Yes, thank you. You got it there. This guy is 150 billion. Thank you. 150 billion. And when they asked him, Mr. because it's really old right now. He still lives in his old house. Of course, I don't agree with that. He still drive his little car or whatever. But when they ask him, where do you invest? He says that simple index funds. He said simple ETF or index funds, right? And if you go on Google today, all right, I always say whatever you see on social media, always trust but verify, because there are a lot of BS on the social media space. You always want to trust but verify. Go on Google right now or go on ChatGPT. Check where does the wealthy and the multi-millionaire and the billionaires, where do they put their money? What you find is the number one, what Warren Buffett said. Number one, he said index funds and simple ETFs. So he did not say pick and choose. No, he did not. Number two is real estate. Okay, those are two. Then you now see, venture capital. You start seeing things like that. Maybe all the way down, you see cryptocurrency, which is for newer investors. Those are things that you would say. But for people that have is worth 150 billion, that's what is what. So whatever thing that I'm saying, it is not about, I'm talking about something that is proven, that works, right? Because you do not, if you do the same thing as the multimillionaire, if you understand where they put their money, your chances of becoming a multimillionaire is very high. Even if you don't become a multimillionaire, you will become a millionaire. So I give an instance. If you simply put $100 every single month, you start it, like a child or a kid that start from 20 to 65 or do it for 40 years at a simple S&P 500 returning 8 to 12%, will have over $1 million. That is, it might sound like it's a long time. So is $100 not a lot of money? It's not. Let's be realistic, because I can tell you this, because that is $3.33 a day or $3 a day. That's what it is. That is less than 1 cup of coffee a day. So if you're, I'm sorry that I'm using the word coffee for the coffee lovers. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. But I'm just saying that that thing that is keeping you from becoming that millionaire is because this was great. I'll be back. Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah. So that thing that is keeping you from becoming a millionaire could be that cup of coffee. And I'm not saying don't buy your coffee. The other thing is that you might be wondering, okay, Roth IRA is another way. If you put if you do a calculation right now, if you start putting your 7,500 of Roth IRA every single year, you realize that even if you do it for 30 years at an S&P 500, you realize that you become a millionaire. And a lot of us will say, oh, you know what, Roth IRA, I cannot afford 600 because that's about $623 a month. That's $300 every paycheck. And you're like, I cannot afford it. But what if I tell you that $200, that $600, that is $20 of lunch every single day. A lot of people, they buy lunch every single day. And people don't want to hear this. Right? That one thing that is keeping you from becoming that millionaire status, it's just one thing. It could be that lunch that you can replace from making from home. And of course, you're building wealth. Okay, when we talk about wealth, money is part of it. There's money wealth, there's health wealth. Health wealth means that what you eat, your exercise, and all of those things. So it's going to help you also build your health wealth, because if you eat right, you would get to build your health wealth as well. And of course, whenever you are also saving and you're also putting money aside, you realize that you're also building your time wealth. So you have the option to live life at your own terms. Hey Stephanie, hey 99, how are you all doing today? And today we are just talking about one thing. Where does the world they put their money? And why you should do the same thing, because you almost get the same result. Yeah, thank you so much for the daily admin. You would get the same result as the wealthy if you do the same thing. So one thing that where they don't definitely they do not allow lifestyle creep. They save, but then they don't just put also they don't put money in the bank and it's just there. They will have money, but it is in asset, because understanding is asset is what helps you grow wealth. Putting your money in the bank account, you are saving money, that's not going to help you build wealth. When you put it in assets or investments, that's when you grow wealth. Remember, number one is you're saving. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the live. Number one, you're putting 50% of your income. Okay. 50% of that income. If you have not achieved that, let your goal be that. Start working towards it, right? You have a set goal. Number two is you are taking some of those money, you're not your savings, you're not putting that 50%, you're not leaving it in the bank, you are investing it. And number three, you are not looking for next big thing, you're not looking for hypes, you're not a get rich scheme. Shanti Eyes, welcome. Not a get rich quick scheme. It's all about you building, putting it in safe vehicle. Okay, safe vehicle where the wealthy put their money, right? Where the wealthy put their money. Number one is welcome, Shanti Eyes. Number one is they put it in real estate. They put it in ETFs or index funds. They put it in businesses. Those are places where you put your money, right? And I've also love just to establish this as well. Pi 212, welcome. Another thing is that just to establish this, you also need to ensure that you are not trying to impress people, trying to be rich, trying to look rich. The two different things. Trying to look rich when you are, trying to impress others, buying those expensive things just to look rich. Let the goal be, let me be rich. Because when you are rich, it gives you financial freedom. You can live life at your own terms. We are able to, like, okay, you know what? I can do things. I am working just because I want to work, not because I have to work to pay bills. All right. So those that and we for those that are new here, I know that we have OGs that have been talking. Who knows about ETFs? I mean, who does not know about ETF? Put in the comment section. You don't know what ETF is, or you want us to talk about real estate. Put in the comment section. Fafeno, welcome. Tell, welcome. Welcome, 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 everyone. All right, we're talking about where the wealthy put their money, and so that you can learn the same thing, so you can also build wealth. Because there's a proverb that says that if you aim for the is it for the sky? Which one is farther? I'm not good with geography. That's not part of my strength. If you aim for the sky or whatever, if you don't get to that, you would at least get to the whichever one is closer. That's what it says. All right. Okay, who wants to put in the comment section? You don't know about ETFs. You don't know about ETFs. Otherwise, we'll jump into something else. And these days I try to put some so when you see me looking, I try to like put some structure, because I realize that at times I can go overboard. So I'm just trying to check what I have on my list that we're talking about. Okay. All right. Who wants to? So does it mean that we all know ETFs? We all know about ETFs, right? We all know about ETFs. So what do you want us to talk about real estate then? Stephanie, I know you had a question yesterday. Okay. Oh, thank you for the at me. Thank you so much for the daily at me. Okay, so having said that, so one thing, like a next step from here, like I said, you have your salary. Your salary comes in. You take 50%, like an action step. You take 50% of this. If you have not achieved, if you don't have that 50%, that's fine. But let it be your goal. You take some of it and you are putting it number one. We'll talk about the wealth, the hierarchy, right? We have the number one. We have number one. When you have that 50%, what do? You have your emergency fund. That's the number one. You put some of this money away into an emergency fund. What does this mean? It basically means your needs, your basic need, your four walls, your utilities, your rent, your housing, your rent, your groceries, and of course your, what was it again? So your car, your rent, your utilities, and your groceries, those four things, you're going to be saving, like you're going to saving some of that money. You're putting it in an emergency. It's just those are what is called your emergency fund. You put your emergency fund, you put it in an IE savings account. IE savings account, that's where you put it. And you're wondering what's an IE savings account? An IE savings account is basically your normal bank account, but it just returns a higher interest. So you can go on Google and search top IE savings account in 20 and March 2026. You typically would see between 3 to 5%. Any of it, you can put your money, okay? But this is just your emergency fund. Emergency fund, you start with 1 month, right? 1 month of those expenses. That's what you start with. And thank you all for tapping out the live. Let's keep tapping as we're listening. I know we are all locked in. Yeah, Wemi, A Class Plus, A Classy Plus. You were here at Wemi yesterday. Store slowly, slow slide. Yeah, yeah. Let's keep tapping out the live and let's share. Let's power share one more time. So emergency fund is what you start with. So remember, we have your 50%. Shanti Eyes, thank you so much for the likes, right? So first of all, you have your number one, you have your 50% that you are saving, okay, because you have learned this and you are building wealth the right way, just like the wealthy. Then number two is you are thinking about protection. So you want to first of all think about your emergency fund for 1 month. That's where you start with. 1 month of that is what you put in your high yield savings account. It's going to return 3 to 5%. Okay, that's what it does. Number two is you also have, if you have credit cards, right? If you have credit cards, pay it off. It's not like pay it off. Pay it off every paycheck. Every paycheck within the billing cycle, make sure you are paying it off because that's going to help you increase your credit because we need it to build wealth as well. And then you don't want to be a slave to this lender because you are paying an interest of 27%. That's the second thing. And then any other debt that is higher than 10%, you want to, as much as possible, pay that off as well, right? You're paying up within the billing cycle. You're not paying a 27% interest, right? Having said that, you are also not focusing on lifestyle creep. We already talked about that. You are just focusing on your basic needs, right? So that's the we talked about emergency fund. One is saving, emergency fund. Three is your credit card. You are paying it, you are paying your debt off. Then we'll now go into real investing. We're talking about when we're talking about investing here, we talk about simple ETFs or index funds where Warren Buffett puts his money, where all the top millionaires, the multimillionaires, where they put their money, they buy basket of stocks. That's what they buy. Basket of stocks instead of picking and choosing. So you're going to be opening, and you're wondering how does this Lolo? Thank you so much for the follow. You're wondering, so how does this work? Just open a brokerage account. What are brokerage accounts? These are companies or these are firms that you can buy stocks or you can buy ETFs, investment firms. So you buy it from them, just like where you put your money in the bank. That's the same way they are. So we have Fidelity shops, we have Fidelity shops and Vanguard. Those three, you can open any of those accounts, right? Any of those, and then you start every single month. Make it consistent. Remember, the millionaire, the multi-million, the wealthy, they are consistent. They are not chasing the next big things. They are not following hypes. Simple ETFs, right? Simple. And then you are every single month, you are, or every single paycheck, you're doing a deduction into that account. That account will buy you the ETFs that you need. Okay. And what are the ETFs? S&P 500. Simple. S&P 500. What is an S&P 500? It's the top 500 companies in the United States. Top 500 companies. These are like, you have, like a Meta, you have Google, you have Amazon, you have all of those top companies, 500 of them in that basket of funds, right? It's returned between 8 to 12% in the past. It's returned 8 to 12% in the past, how many years? In the past 10, 20, 30 years, averagely. Last year, it returned 18%. So it means that if you put, let's assume that you put using the example that we have 50% of 100,000, let's say that you have, let's say you put 10,000, it means that you would have gotten 1,800 on your money, right? If you have put 50,000, that means that you would have had almost $10,000 extra on top of your money. Would have been 60,000 right now. Okay, and that's consistency. That's compound interest. That is the power of compounding. The rule of 72 says that your money will double its value every 7 years. So if you put it in simple, like the average 8 to 12% S&P 500, your money doubles its value every 7 years. What that means is that if you put your money, you put 10,000, or let's say you put 50,000, by year 7 or earlier, you should have 100,000. Okay, and just think about it. This is where they say compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. This is the reason, because now by year 7 it becomes what? It becomes 100,000, right? And then you say that, okay, the next 7 years is going to be 150. No, the next 7 years, remember, it's not 100,000. The next 7 years is going to now become what? It's going to become 200,000. And then when it gets to about 21 years, it goes crazy. So think about it this way. In 14 years, right, it becomes 20, it becomes 200,000, right? It becomes 200,000. Then in 21 years, it becomes 400,000. Guess what? You did not have any other dime. You just only put 50,000. But with the rule of 72, you can go search it. With the rule of 72, if your money is doubling every single 7 years, it means that 50,000 becomes what? 100,000, right? In year 7. By year 14, it becomes 200,000, because now remember, it's 100,000 that is doubling right now. 100,000 in another 7 years, that's 200,000. In 21 years, that is becomes 400,000. And then in 28 years, that is 800,000. That's how they say that the compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay. And if it goes beyond that, that's why they always say the time in the market always beats time in the market. Okay. Timing the market means that you want to know, when is the stock low? When is the real estate down? When is the interest down? But if you keep up at it, you are consistent, you are putting money every single month, you set it, automation. And that's why I always say that if you're a beginner investor, because that's what helped me. If you're a beginner investor, just start with simple ETFs. Start with don't go jump into real estate, right? Even though real estate, oh, maybe welcome. Yeah, well, not exactly, because we talked about, if you're here yesterday, we're talking about ETFs. We're talking about where the wealthy put their money and how they manage their money. Okay, all right. So you do it automatically. Okay, you open one of those accounts, Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab's. Any of those accounts. When you open it, what that helps you is you set it up with your ACH, with your employer, or you do it directly with your bank. Even if it's $100. Every single month, let's say you're going to be opening 2 accounts, and I'm telling you exactly what I do. One is brokerage account. One is for your future, which is your Roth IRA, if you qualify for it. If you do not qualify for it, you open a brokerage account, then you can do a backdoor IRA. Okay, you can do that where you can now transfer the money later. Why do I talk about Roth IRA a lot, right? Just like the eighth wonder of the world, Roth IRA is a very, very good wealth builder for your future in retirement, because all this are for the Roth IRA is for retirement, 401k is for retirement. Why is it really good? Because it grows tax free. So it simply means that, let's assume that, using the same scenario earlier, let's assume that you put 50,000, and then by year 28 is now 800,000, like we were doing the calculation. Everything that your 800,000 is all your money. It is all your money, because by, let's assume, by year 30, another 7 years, that's by, is it 30 times 5, that's 35 years, right? Year 35 become 1.4 million, right? That 1.4 million is everything that you get. Guess what? Is 50,000 you start with. But a lot of times people are not just patient. We are never patient. We want it now. We want to everything. We want it now. We want the, what's the stock that's going to give us money now? Now, 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 now. That's a problem. But guess what? You are doing a career, and people are so comfortable to work from age 20 or 25, or whenever you started your career. They are comfortable to work to 65. They don't see any crime with that. They don't see anything wrong with that. But when we say invest, start putting, no matter how small, put it there and put it towards investing. What happens is that people will say, oh, you know what, it's a long time. 20 years is a long time. 15 years is a long, but it's not a long time for you to work for 45 years, doing the same thing, 9 to 5, every single day, like a clockwork. All right. And then they give you 2 days. And out of that 2 days, you're already thinking, oh, the work is on Monday. It's already impacting your mental health, but you still have to show up. So I always say that, and this is outside of the teacher, I always say that building wealth starts with the mindset. You have to first of all understand it as a mindset shift, because until I got that, I couldn't build wealth myself, right? Otherwise, you'll keep impressing people. Otherwise, you'll be buying luxury items to look rich instead of you to focus on actually becoming rich. And the easy way is you just buy simple things. Open your Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwartz, or go and open Robin Hood, anyone, and every single paycheck, every single, just say that, even if it's $100, that's $200. If you can do your Roth IRA and max it out to 7,500, if you can do that and you start doing it regardless of the age, okay? Because other people would say that, I wish I started that. Stop wishing. Let's stop wishing. Let's take action and execute. You can open the account right now. Omolebe, welcome. Open the account right now and start from your next paycheck. Some of us are going to get paycheck tomorrow, which is, this information is very handy. Today is Wednesday. Open the account today. Speak with your HR if you are still at work today, and tell them that, okay, you know what, some of my paycheck, I want some of it to start going into this account, or get it done tomorrow. And if you cannot even do it on this paycheck, let the next paycheck do it. Okay, do some of it. It goes into Roth IRA. The other part goes, by the way, Roth IRA is 7,500. That's the max you can put into it, because it's a wealth engine. You get your money, it grows tax free. There's no capital gain tax when it comes to Roth IRA. Now, the other account that you are opening, it's number 3 account you're opening. Remember, number 1 account is your IO savings account, where you put your 1 month emergency fund, which you're going to grow to 3 months, 6 months as you are building your wealth. Number 2 is your Roth IRA. Number 3, okay, it's your brokerage account. That brokerage account, why is it important? As your IRA, your Roth IRA, as it's growing, it's protecting you in the future, because you can only get that money when you're at 59 and a half. That's when you can get the money in Roth IRA. You can get it, but you get penalized. If you don't want any penalty, then you wait till 59 and a half, right? After that, you can start getting the money. But guess what? You are still going to be building wealth for today. That is for tomorrow. Wealth for today, you put it in some brokerage firm, brokerage investment. I mean, in brokerage, another account, not Roth IRA. This one is going to be taxed capital gain. However, it's also growing. Whatever returns on it, not your principal, your whatever return on it will be taxed with capital gain. But I will take the growth. So, for instance, this is what is going to help you build your wealth today. Remember, you are not just working. The goal is not to work. To work, working is not your life. Don't. A lot of time we say work is equivalent to your life. No, there's life beyond that. It's your life is beyond your 9 to 5. Okay, so what do you whatever remember we're saving 50% of our income, like we said, or you are starting from wherever you are, but your goal is 50%. So whenever you get salary increase, you change your job, you know that I have to keep it at the 50%, right? Or keep your expenses low or whatever. You're getting at 50%. Now you open that brokerage account. That is for today. So for instance, you want to remember we're saying your salary, lifestyle. Now this money is now going to go towards investment. That's the brokerage that we're saying. Investment for today. When you put it in that investment account, hola, Sergio. Um, when you put it in the investment, you it start generating money. When it generates the money, then you will now fund your lifestyle. Remember, this is your salary. Here is the asset, right? ETF is an asset, is a form of asset, is a form of investment. So just think about it whenever, yeah, I don't speak Spanish, but I can call somebody that speaks Spanish, right? But it's so nice to have you here, right? But thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you all for sharing the live. Thank you for tapping out the live. Philly, welcome, and every other person that is here. Let's see. Let's see who is here. Lola, Mabel, Wemi, Roots Legacy, Ecclesia, Darlington Travel, and Lee. Oh, I love Travel and Leo. Tammy, LCI Cow. Everyone, welcome here. Okay? Welcome here. So you're taking 50% of your salary because that's what is going to help you build wealth or whatever you're starting from. ETF is a form of asset and investment, right? God bless child. Welcome. Now, when you now have this ETF, like an S&P 500, like an SCHD for dividend, like a QQQ for a Nasdaq 100. You're taking when it grows money, when the money it returns money, then you fund this lifestyle. So think about travel. Somebody talk about travel and leisure, and I love to travel. I've been to 22 countries myself because I gain experience. Think about things that you enjoy. Like, okay, now you love a purse. Now you like a particular car. Take that you can now take money from the ETF. Thank you all for sharing the live, and thank you all for sharing means press my forehead, and of course it's going to show my contact, your contact, and you can share with them, and they can learn this strategy to build wealth. And thank you all for the likes. Thank you so much for the likes. Really appreciate that. Okay, because it's also going to help this community to get on the FYP and so more people can learn how to build wealth. Goal is in this community, we are building community of a millionaire. That's my goal. I am one, and I just want more people because it's going to reduce crime, it's going to also help reduce poverty. Okay, that is my own way of giving back. Okay, all right. So having said that, the ETFs, whatever it returns, okay, it grows. Let's assume that the way we said it earlier, it grows to from 50,000. It becomes after 7 years with rule of 72, it becomes 100,000. After 14 years, becomes 200,000. Just like that, you can now decide to say, I'm going to take 50,000 out of this money and say I'm enjoying myself, or it doesn't have to be 50, but whatever you want to travel, you can do that. You want to buy a car, you can do that. And that is how wealth is created. But a lot of time, and what differentiates you from somebody that is living paycheck to paycheck, or that's going to remain in the on the hamster wheel for another 60, continue to work like a clockwork till 65 or 59 and a half. What's going to differentiate you is what you're doing right now, what we are talking about right now, because it is called delayed gratification. And that's what is going to move you from a poor dad to a rich dad. Because remember, your salary funds your lifestyle. But what you do with it is what is going to help you build wealth. If you are just taking it, it's funding your lifestyle. You take it, salary, you fund lifestyle, you continue to remain on hamster wheel. You cannot have financial freedom. But if you take some of it, right, and you put some of it towards assets, towards invest good assets, by the way, because there's also a bad one. Good asset, if you also put some of it in ETFs like we talked about, then you realize that it returns money, then you fund this lifestyle. Guess what? The only difference is the delayed gratification. You are earning the same income. So let's assume somebody is earning 300,000 and then the lifestyle is 290,000. Somebody is earning 300,000, takes 150,000 and put it here. The 150,000 generates, let's assume that it generates 10,000 every single month. After a while, that 10,000, he starts spending. That is the difference. Remember, they're earning the same income, but getting different results. This person will end up, the person that follows this route, which is what we're taught in school, by the way, the person that follows the route of salary to lifestyle, that person will remain there working to 65 and not still be financially free. Still the same income. But if you go this route, but allowing this delayed gratification, not trying to impress anybody, not trying to look rich, but actually working towards being rich and wealthy, this person is going to, after a certain number of years, this person is going to say that, you know what, this asset has now built so much money for me, or is generating monthly cash flow for me, that is now replacing this salary, and I can decide to step off the hamster wheel. I can decide to end the rat race. And then I am just working because I want to work and not because I need to pay this bill. Us, oh my God. We are having amazing people here. Where is that? A standing ovation for you. A standing ovation from you. Retired at 53. Mr. Gregory retired at 52. I am glad. And Mr. KJM just joined. Hello. Mr. KJM is retiring in 1 year and he's also built this. He confirmed all of this. I am so glad. I am so glad because it's just, you've all just validating what I'm saying because you are blessing a lot of people. Yes, we have 3 people. Now we have 3 people, and let me pin it there. We have 3 people in this community that says the same thing, that, okay, Dr. Lina, you are not crazy. Yes, I'm not 53, yet yes, I'm still there doing the work because I want to, right? Yes, I'm still there, but then people that are way older and making choices, they're doing it. Lolo 8, thank you so much for saying that. I know Mr. Gregory will soon be here. He retired at 52. And he's just saying exactly the same thing. Mr. K-Jam also just joined. Let me see if he's still here. I saw him come through earlier. He also is retiring in 1 year. Even he's much older. But it just says that this is exactly it. So let no one put anyone under any pressure. Don't be pressure. Let your friends, let them be buying Mercedes. That's the truth. Let them be buying Mercedes. Let people go and be doing, all this get rich quick scheme. Let them go do it. But please, just do this for yourself and your next generation. See, get a copy of this book. So this is not even about me. I always talk about this. Get a copy. You can, I don't know if I have on the basket, but you can get it anywhere. It's called The Rich Dad Poor Dad. Get it for your teenagers. Get it for yourself. Read it. It's celebrating 20 years as the #1 personal finance book of all time. It's the same strategy. Mr. Kejam did say the book that helps him, Common Sense. That's another book. Invest in yourself. I've turned this to motivation, but this is not. But let's go back to it. But this is, thank you so much, Mr. or Miss Lolo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate you saying that, because guess what? You have guess what? You have just nailed it. You have just nailed it. Retiring at 53, that is a major feat. That is it. And guess what? You can still decide. People still decide. I have my cousin that is she's still working, even though she's in her 50s right now. She's already, but she just said, I just love my lecturing job because I can lecture anywhere in the world. So I don't have to. And she's still doing it just because, not because she wants to, not because of the money, but she's doing it because Dr. O is doing it just because she just likes to impart knowledge. Some people never believe that people I would come here and just share knowledge for free. I share knowledge for free, but some people will feel, oh, until you pay money. Some people are just there like that. So, but congratulations, Mr. or Miss Lolo. Thank you so much for being a part of this community and also sharing this. So, having said that, having said that, you're going to open two accounts, like account number three, account number one. Who knows account number one? Let's put in the comment section. Account number one, account number two, account number three that you are opening. At least now you have seen that the procedure, these steps that we're talking about works. Account number one, account number two, account number three that we need to create as we are getting a paycheck tomorrow, okay? Or today. You're opening it today towards tomorrow. All right. If anybody knows it, put in the comment section. Okay. So you have, and what are you buying in there? Because where you put your money should also be it's somewhere decent, right? It's basket of ETF, like basket of stocks, top 500 companies. These have returned between 8 to 12% in the past in the past 10, 20, 30 years. Okay, so you can be sure that your money is safe. Set it, buy it every single. I would say that buy the ones that I buy VOO or SPY or IVV. Those are S&P 500 because it's steady. There's the QQQ that is a little bit because it's Nasdaq 100. It goes up, it fluctuates. I'll put maybe 20% in that. I'll put 40 or 50% in S&P 500. Then I'll put another 10% in SCHD. Then I'll put some in REIT as well, because REIT is the ETS for real estate. Set it, automate it that, okay, every single month there's an automation that goes into that account. Just like you see your salaries, or your taxes is already deducted from source. This one too should be also be deducted such that at the end of the day, you have already paid yourself. Okay, so you have already paid yourself. You put money in your IU savings account for your emergency fund. You put money in Roth IRA. Now I'm saying it again. You put money in your Roth IRA for your future self. By the way, I hope we all know that your chances of having social security, brokerage account, awesome. Yes, Mabel, you're following. Thank you. Your chances of having social security at retirement is very slim. I'm not even looking at anything at retirement when it comes to what's it called? Social security. And if you are waiting on your children to be your retirement plan, I think you need to rethink. You need to rethink because at that point you don't know. So that's why you also need to plan for yourself right now. Okay. So Roth IRA, you have your Roth IRA, and of course, if your employer is matching anything that comes related to 401k, then you also match that as well, right? You also match that we're talking about the 50%. You are matching that. What does this mean? It means that they would say that if you contribute 1% or 5% or 6%, they will match it up to that 6% or whatever amount. So you do that as well. Then you have your brokerage account, like Mabel said, a brokerage account. That brokerage account is going to help you for now. So you want to now, this is where the investing of today, building wealth for today. You'll be a Roth IRA 401k will make you a future millionaire in retirement. You probably would have heard that. Future retirement millionaires, right? But for the present day millionaire, right? So that you can retire at 52 or whatever time, you start having the one in the brokerage account, right? All of your vacation money, your next business that you want to just start putting it there. Even if you don't have an idea of the business, it's returning 8 to 12%. It's returning 18 to 22%. You are getting cash flow. You are increasing your money every single every single month that you put that money there. And by the way, I hope you guys know something, or who knows this, or who feels this way. When you have extra money that you don't give direction, does the money still remain in the account, but or does it you just realize that the money you don't know where the money goes? Because it happens to me. If I have money in my account and I don't it doesn't have any, there's no reason for it, there's no need for it, I just realize that one way or the other there's somebody that needs the money, that I need to give the money, or somebody will come with a need, or I'll use it to buy something I don't need, that doesn't have any value to me. So, and it is just about how you treat money. If you give your money structure and direction, okay, give your money structure and direction, you realize that you will build wealth. And that's the other thing that the multimillionaires and the wealthy, what they do, they give their money direction. That's why you see somebody will say, oh, you know what, I don't have money in my account. Well, guess what? They are worth millions and millions. They're what they just have a, or they would say that, oh, you know what? Maybe I have 50,000 in my account. It's not enough or whatever, whatever. But then guess what? They have millions in terms of assets. What that helps you to do is that you cannot easily liquidate it, you cannot touch it, you cannot, that's what it helps you to do. It helps you lock money away. But if it's there, guess what? You will just see something that wants to take that money away from you. Okay. So the third account, brokerage account, you're going to put it and put it in simple ETFs, like I said. Why is ETFs good? ETF is good. It helps you to drive consistency. It helps you to drive discipline because you are using automation. As a beginner investor, that is where you want to start. Okay. If you are just new to this, you want to start there because it's easy to set up. You can open up your account online, you can do everything, and then you can set it up without you moving from your seat. Oh, a phone call, it's done. All right. Unlike the next one, which is real estate. Real estate is another place that the wealthy put their money. As we've talked about ETFs, ETF is beautiful. Okay. And we talked about this yesterday. Where should you put your money, ETF or real estate? And that's what's still on the board, right? I always say that put your money in the two. However, the one that returns wealth faster, or you see that most of the ultra wealthy they will have, is real estate. They put a lot of money in it because it pays you in four different ways. One, it pays you as cash flow. You use the bank's money, okay? You enjoy a lot of leverage. Use the bank's money and you use the tenant's money. The difference between two, you buy a house, you put a tenant in there, then you're using the bank's money to buy the house, then you are paying using the tenant's money every single month. That is an amazing strategy. And the difference between, you even still get some cash. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for all of the likes. And thank you for sharing and sharing. Sharing is caring. That's what they call it. Sharing is caring. And all of the likes, really appreciate it. I know we are all locked in, but let's keep tapping out the life. All right. So we have what's it called? We have the real estate. And if you are new here, or you have been here for like 5 minutes and you find this valuable, consider having your daily hack me. So it's just going to cost you 1 cent. Okay, cost you 1 cent, and you are always, I'll know that you're going to be a part of this community. And whenever we're live, you would see that. And for the YT community, welcome. Consider subscribing as well, and just so you can learn about how to build wealth. That's what we do. We are building a millionaire community by 2036. That's the goal. 2036, we want to, thank you so much for the follow. 2036, we are going to be a millionaire if you follow the steps strategically. Follow it to the letter. You realize that you will be a millionaire. At least Miss Lolo or Mr. Lolo confirmed that he's retiring at 52. Okay. And Mr. K Jam has also confirmed the same thing, retiring this next year. And Mr. Gregory retired at 52. He's retired at 52. So it means that the step works. And it will not get to you and it will not work. It's definitely not. Okay? Definitely work, because we use strategies that the wealthy already use. That's it. I can decide to walk away from 9 to 5 if I decide to, even as a vice president of technology, right? And okay, great. So having said that, um, uh, uh, real estate pays you as cash flow. You use the bank's money to buy the property. That's leverage. Then you use the tenant's money to pay the bank, and then you still get the difference. The difference between your mortgage and your rent. That's cash flow right there. That's one way that that real estate pays you. Number two is it pays you as equity. Every time the tenant pays and you pay the bank some mortgage, you pay back the bank, you increase your ownership in the property while reducing the loan that you have. That in itself is what is called equity. Now you might be wondering, but it's locked in the house, it's just whatever. It is real cash. It is real cash because you can do cash out refinance. You can do ELOC, like home equity line of credit, where it's almost taking a credit against that property and you would pay it every month. So you could every month or within the billion, and you have access to huge cash, right? So that is the second thing. Number three, that is often downplayed the most and nobody talks about, which is actually the biggest, is appreciation. Appreciation is the biggest thing. And a lot of time I lose people here, but the truth of the matter, because I have already done the analysis, I have lived it. It's when you buy a property, okay, every property that you buy in the right location, you buy it right. Remember, buy it right. In 10 years, that property doubles its value. The property that we bought 2017, it's July 2017. Today, it has already doubled its value, even though it's not yet 10 years. And you can do the Google, go on Google and search it yourself. You'll find the same thing. It doubles, just like the rule of 72. What it takes you to double your money is it's going to be 7 years. You double your money in 7 years. But with real estate, it is 10 years. However, in terms of the property, it's 10 years. But guess what? You're also getting the cash flow, you're getting equity. So it's like it's paying you in three different ways. And lastly, the one that is the sweetest that nobody talks about or nobody wants to tell you because it's a cheat code, right? That's the reason why, part of the reason why Mr. President doesn't pay taxes. It's the tax benefit because it's very, very heavy in real estate. You probably have heard Trump Tower, this Tower, and all of that. You would have heard of that. That is the reason. Because the fact that you own real estate in itself, Uncle Sam, IRS is, literally paying you. What does this mean? Especially for professional, because most of the time I talk, your income starts with your building wealth starts with your income. I am not one of those people that will tell you something that is not real. You need to have income first, right? That income that you're earning, especially for high earners, like you're paying. Some of us are already thinking April 15 is around the corner. I don't know how much my tax consultant is going to, bill me, or not bill me, how much I'm going to have to pay Uncle Sam. All right. And then you realize that you probably don't even have to pay anything. Let's assume that you bought a property last year and there's the property tax, and you can go on Google yourself. There's the property taxes that we talked about. There's the insurance. If there's a vacancy on the home, there's a repair, all of those things. Let's assume that you're supposed to pay because you earn maybe 150,000. Let's use that as an instance. But when you do your filing, after everything, you're still supposed to pay, let's say, pay back IRS, let's say $8,000. But because you bought a property last year, you fixed it, you pay tax, you did all of those things that I mentioned earlier. Now all of this from this house costed you 7,000. You only owe Uncle Sam $1,000. That's what it is. Okay, let's assume that this, which is the real estate, is 10,000. That's how much you spend in terms of expenses. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following, and thank you all for tapping the like. So if you have 10,000 and your W2N is 8,000, Uncle Sam is now the one owing you $2,000. So he pays you $2,000 back. That $10,000 is actually free money for you now, which you can use to buy your next property. Now, this is also applicable to business, by the way. So if you bought a car last year, if your car is above, is it 9,000? ton or something, right? That's why you probably would have heard about people saying they buy G-Wagon, they buy Escalade and all of that. If you buy it, so far is within 1 year or whatever, or something. If you buy it, you can actually file everything. Let's assume that the car is 180,000 and you're supposed to pay Uncle Sam, what you put it towards an expense, the expense. So far you use it, you're able to prove, I mean, not prove because there's really nobody you're proving, but you have a record that, okay, you use it partly for the business. So those are ways wealth are being created. But guess what? A salary earner, if you are just earning income and you are using it to fund this lifestyle, do you know what that does? You are going to be paying that 10,000 and Uncle Sam is going to be patting you on the back or even be insulting you on top of it, on top of your 10,000. But guess what? The person that says, I delayed the gratification, the person who puts it towards asset, that 10,000 that is supposed to, that is an additional income for that person. That is an additional income. That is why this is how wealth is being built. And you're not, and that's for when it even comes to real estate, that's even one, right? Who knows about the big beautiful bill? You'd have heard the big beautiful bill, the big beautiful bill. Part of it is that accelerated depreciation. So it simply means that if there's a depreciation on, the property is supposed to, a property, even though it's appreciating, right? It's supposed to double its value every 10 years. But in the books, I'm also a chartered accountant. In the books, you realize that it is in your asset statement, your balance sheet statement, right? In that balance sheet statement, under the asset side, there's something called, depreciation is part of the things that the assets, right? You have building, you have plant and machinery and all of those things. But as depreciation is also part of it, which you need to reduce. It can be on a straight line basis, it can be on a reducing balance. So you can say that, okay, let's assume that the property is, let's say 100,000, or let's say 300,000, for instance, and you can depreciate it for over 30 years. I think plant building is 30 years or something. So it means that you can claim 10,000 depreciation every single year. But with the big beautiful bill is you can do accelerated depreciation. I think you can do accelerated, so that 10,000, because think about it, depreciation means that a property that is 300,000 by year 30 becomes zero. By year 30 it becomes zero. That's what it means. All right. So that is ways, and this is another money that you can actually claim against your W2. Buying real estate, right, may be risky for most, too concentrated, and yes, absolutely. So you just need to, that's why education is very key. When it comes to, and I always say that if you are starting, you're just a new investor, do not get intimidated. You are just hearing about this world building. You have just been, a salary earner, like they teach us. You get your income and you fund your lifestyle. And now you're like, okay, Dr. Lina has talked to me today. I think I need to start building wealth. Just start with simple ETFs. Just start with there. When you are comfortable and you started building money through that, then you can now, in the process while you're doing this, because when you are doing simple ETF, that's why I call it simple ETFs. I call it smart investing. So because I do talk about 4 pillars of wealth creation. Number 1, I talk about your skill, because that's where your income comes from. Number 2, Robin Hood, Fidelity, yes, absolutely. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab's, right? So number 1, I'll talk about your skill. That's where it starts from. That's it. Your skill. That's your salary. That's your paycheck. Then number 2, I talk about smart investing. There's a reason why I say smart, because investing, could be you're buying stocks. Smart investing to me is ETF index funds, where the multi-millionaire Warren Buffett said we should do, and it has worked for me. That's what I do. That's basically me. Okay. So that's why I say smart investing. Then after that, you can now think about, real estate. But because smart investing is very simple, you're just opening an account, putting money. If you can open an account, you can open a Bank of America, Chase, or whatever. Then it's as easy as that. Just open it and let it ride. You don't even need to touch it anymore. You don't, just set it up once and done. Forgetting market is low, market is high, is none of your business, because you are here for the long haul. right? Because remember, it's the time in the market, not timing the market. The more time you are there, the more wealth you're getting for yourself. Remember, you are still getting salary at this point. So there's no reason why you want to start taking money from here. Let this one keep growing so that by the time you decide to walk away from here, you have so much that's grown, then it can replace this one. If you decide to do like Mr. Lolo or Miss Lolo, that you now, at 52 or 53, you are retired. Then you have so much, okay? Let this one keep going. That's the second thing. Then the real estate is the third that I always talk about, right? My third pillar of wealth creation, right? Because of course it builds wealth. But guess what? It requires education. I'll be doing a free training, free one-time training sometime this month. I'm just still trying to figure out the date. I'll put out the date. So if you have not followed, you want to follow. If you have not subscribed on my YouTube channel, want to do that, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. On Instagram as well, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. So you don't miss out on when that training rolls up. It's going to be outside because I want to be able to bring everyone just for the use of my own time and be able to also dedicate my time. By the time you're done, the goal is you should be ready to be able to buy your first rental because there will be answered questions, and I tell you the strategy because when I say buy right, and like Miss Lola said, buy right, it simply means that you are buying it at a decent price. So I don't buy 100%. Oh, thank you so much for the daily admin. I don't buy it. Oh, Michelle, welcome again. Mr. Great. Okay, Mr. Now I know. I have three Misters, Mr. Gregory, Mr. Lolo, and Mr. J. Crew. Yeah, I have three of them. Those are my retirees that have all used this method. Awesome. Thank you so much. You are beautiful, Michelle. I've been in your life. She's amazing. She just reads to us and gets motivation about finances and all of that. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right. So we do thank you so much for sharing the life. Thank you so much for the follow. So if you haven't followed, you want to do that. If you have found it's really, really helpful to you, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for the Go Populars as well. It just helps this community to get on the FYP. Thank you so much for that. Awesome. So having said that, real estate, we're going to be doing a free training one time, but I would be getting everyone together. You'll be able to ask all your questions, but I want to make sure that there's no distraction. I can, just so I can have everyone at one time to get to learn. Okay, because real estate, it's not intimidating, it's not, but you need to, it requires education. Okay, so I don't want anyone to fail. And I was saying that we are building $1 million community. J4, welcome. We are building $1 million community. What that means is that for life, welcome. uh I can't allow you for life, except that you are back here today to come and learn how to build wealth. Okay, I know that you may have I just, oh, that's fantastic for life. That is great. That's great. I know that you need to actually learn. One thing, when people come here, right? When people come here, it's either they do not have joy in their life. Okay, so I will just let you know that you need some joy in your life, and when somebody don't have joy, and this is it for you for life. If you don't have joy, you just first of all need to go look for, maybe you need some wealth, right? And what I'm going to do for you, I can try to employ you. Okay, employ you. Send me a resume, send me a message on send me a message because you probably have some finance, you need some money, right? But I can only empower you, right? Because if I keep giving you money, it will not help you. I want to yeah, it's okay. Yeah, send me a message and I'll help you. I would employ you. Send me a resume, okay? And I'll be able, maybe I'll put you in one of my rentals to just, let's see the skills that you have and we can be able to help you so that you can have some more joy in your life. You know what I mean? Yeah, J4, we can definitely J4, you can definitely, the thing about it is some people need help. Okay, some people need help. No, I always, people really need help. Really, you'll be surprised. People need help. Some people are so they want to end it all and all of that. So you need to here is about adding value, helping people, right? So you need, if they need help, you need to help them. Okay, so send me a resume. Okay, and really, really, by all honest, send me a resume. I'll see how I can help you. Maybe put you on one of the jobs in my rental. Okay, all right. So having said that, so real estate is one thing that would help you build wealth. Okay, it would help you definitely build lasting wealth, because think about it as you having something that is going to generate money for you in four different ways. Even if it's just let me okay. All right. So even if it's just for you to see that you are being paid four different ways, even if it's just the tax benefit in itself, the tax benefit that comes with it. Imagine somebody that has the salary here, somebody that has the salary, somebody that has salary, okay, that is paying the taxes of $10,000, and somebody that has the what's it called, that has the that is put it in asset, put it in real estate, and that person is paying, doesn't have to pay taxes. Okay, that person doesn't have to pay taxes. That's the difference. The 10,000 here, that's the loss. The 10,000 here, that's actual cash when it comes to taxes. That's actual cash. That's the beauty of, that's why I talk about real estate. But we will do that training. We'll do that training one time, free training for everyone. I might not do the training again. I might just do it that one time and just be able to help as many people as possible so that they can learn, how to build real estate. And then, we're going to be talking about, the issues that Mr. Lolo talked about, the issue that they talked about, we'll talk about that, managing tenants, all of those kind of things, managing them and all of that. Those are things that we will be talking about in that training. So you want to consider following. I should issue out the date because I want it to be like, okay, it's like 1 month out. So, or maybe 3 weeks out so people can prepare, because it was probably going to take 2 days. It takes some time. Like Mr. Lolo said, it could be intimidated, right? It could be, but please do not fear. If I can do it, I manage it. I manage double digit real estate portfolio. That's what I do. Whenever I say that, I remember I did not say I own. I manage. So it means ownership plus manage, because they're two different things. Some people own it and they're not they have property managers. Me, I manage it. So if I can do it with a vice president job and also a professor in the college teaching AI and AI cybersecurity, because that's I teach that in the colleges. But if I can do it with all of that, then you can do it. But the only thing is that it just needs to be properly structured. You just need to structure it properly. So you are making sure your list is fortified, structured, and all of that. You also want to make sure that you are verifying your tenants, right? You are verifying them. You are making sure that you have sufficient amount for, in terms of maintenance. You are planning for vacancy. And then when you are buying the property, at the point where you're buying the property, you are analyzing it properly. So you're not just saying, when you're buying a home for yourself, is different from when you are investing. No attachment. This is that you people do free training and later ask us to pay for VIP and pay for, well, anyways, I'm not sure what you're saying. Well, for the people that are that's going to benefit, that's amazing for them. Okay, that is amazing for them. But great to have you here, Oprah, and every other person that is here. Great, 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 great. Mabel, Pike, Oprah, Wemi, Badu, Roots, Osiso, Samson, Johnson, my Mr. Willie Sapp, to be awesome. So we'll be doing that. But I would put it out. So if you are yet to subscribe, or you want, and I say subscribe because we have the YT community, YouTube community on the other end as well. let me consider doing that and follow. And then the last thing, because I talk about four pillars of wealth. Okay, I've been done my research on how the wealth build, how the wealth build their wealth. How did they build? Where did they put their money? Then the last thing, which is what I've also talked about. Number one, I talk about financial discipline. I call it financial fortress, right? Financial discipline, because it's the discipline that you have. That's what is going to help you. Okay, what is going to help you to be able to look away. It's going to help you in one thing: delayed gratification. You'll be disciplined to say that, okay, somebody is buying a Mercedes. I don't have to buy my own right now. When I buy my property, or when I put it in ETFs, right? When I put it in ETF, then I'm fine. Then I'm good. You say that I can wait. Delayed gratification. The discipline that, okay, every paycheck, the automation that comes with it, that deducts this amount from every of my paycheck. That's the other part of it. That is financial discipline. Making sure that, okay, you are saving, but not just saving, you are also investing it. That is the discipline that comes with it. Okay, looking away to say that, okay, even if everybody is buying this thing, I am not buying. Okay, that is discipline. Okay, that's my other pillar of wealth that I talk about under the financial fortress. Then I talk about financial planning. Very key. Remember, we talked about the Roth IRA. We're talking about emergency fund. You are planning your money. You are giving your money structure. Always talk about here. I talk about the four account system that you have. You should have when you have your paycheck. Some go to ID service account for your emergency fund. Some goes towards your Roth IRA brokerage or your investment account. Some goes towards your bill, your regular bill. Okay. And the last account is just your regular checking account, which is your distribution center where your salary goes to, and then you distribute the other things. So having those plans, it's very, 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 very critical, because it will give you structure, it will give your money direction. And all of these four accounts I talk about, they are actual accounts that you should open, which of course we've talked about the one for investment, we talked about IU savings account for emergency. I think the only other one that I never talked about was what's the third one? One other one that I talked about. Like, yeah. So that's it. So those four account system is what you're supposed to have. And then lastly, uh, there is the part of financial planning, financial discipline, yes, financial literacy. You need to get education, and great for everyone that's been here. You guys you're just in the step in the right direction. Get education, invest in yourself. The greatest investment you can have is yourself. So what does this mean? These are simple books. This probably cost $9 or $10. Reach that portal, get a copy. I have quite a lot. Okay, I have some of them here. These are books that I bought for myself. For those people that, these are The Richest Bad Man in Babylon, Psychology of Money, The Almanac of Never Again. This is commercial real estate. There's the BRR strategy, Total Money Makeover, Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. These are books that I use to build myself. Even though I have the knowledge, right, as a doctor of business and technology, right, I have the knowledge as a serial investor. These are books that I use myself. I have read them. I still read them. I refer to them. Get a copy for yourself. Some of these books, all of them together, some of them, if you buy 5, 10, it's not even up to $100 at times. But we'll rather use our money for something else. Get education. The only thing that sticks with you is that education. Good. You've read all of them. Great. Great, Sapsi. Thank you for saying that. There's another one. Dave Ramsey is there. I do have 7 habits of highly successful people. Think and Grow Rich. Because I have different sessions, and of course I have my women's Bible as well. The BRR strategy. Those are books. Like I said, I like to travel. I've been to 22 countries. When I'm going on a trip, I'm getting a book. I'm reading them. Your Life or Your Money. That's another good book by Vicky Robbins or something. These are books. Invest in yourself. Get education. Guess what? And maybe this is going to sink. This clicked in my brain, because I always say that making money and this is us wrapping up. Making money or building wealth, it starts with the mind. If your mind cannot conceive it, you cannot achieve it. Okay? If your mind cannot conceive it, you cannot achieve it. That's why some people would say it's impossible to see people to teach you for free. Okay? It's impossible that every other person that is on social media that is genuinely teaching is being saying, oh, it's scam, right? It's a mindset shift. So if you want to build wealth, you need to change your mindset. So thinking, let me tell you when it clicked for me. Whenever, like I said, I'm a vice president of technology, I make decent income, right? This is my lunchtime. I realized that for every single time that I'm here, right? For every single time that I am working, I started looking the 8 hours that I work, and I'm tired because I'm in multiple meetings. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm working. By the time I'm done, I'm tired. Now, that time, and then there was a time I went to Bora Bora, okay? And I enjoyed my life for 7 days or whatever. I realized that these 7 days and these other 7 days that I've been working, they gave me money for this one. Even though these 7 days, it was my vacation, they kind of pay me, but it's not like I was any money, right? They kind of pay me because it's my vacation days. I enjoyed this time that was not generating money for me more than this time that I was working and I was getting money. So what does this mean? It means that I was working just to pay bills and just enjoy life. It means that this life, that these 7 days that I spent here, I cannot get it back. I could have been using it to be on a Bora Bora island, enjoying my life on a bungalow on water. I could have been using that same 7 days. So it tells me something. Time is money. Time is money. So if let's assume that for this day, for these 7 days, that 1 week, let's assume they pay me $2,500. That's what I got, or maybe let's say $3,000 was what I got for this 1 week, 40 hours of working. All right, that $3,000 that they paid me, since I knew that it wasn't value, it wasn't, how do I put it? I need to treat that 3,000 very, very well. I need to treat it well because it's the life that I have traded. Instead of me working, instead of me being on island enjoying myself, I traded that time for working for the $3,000. And that is where how I think about money. So that 3,000 must work. That 3,000, because I could have been on an island enjoying myself, but instead it must work. And that's when it clicked for me. I started looking at every single, what's the time right now? 2:16 Central Time. 2:16. It means that we have worked 6 hours and 16 minutes minus 1 hour of lunch, right? 6 hours and 16 minutes minus 1 hour of lunch, right? That is 5 hours, 16 minutes. That's what you have worked that you can never regain back. So what should you do? But guess what? They give you money in return for that. So what should you do with that money? To go out, does it deserve a purse that is going to get ripped? I bought a Louis Vuitton bag, and the stupid thing was peeling. After like 3 years though, I know you will laugh. Yes, it should never peel. How can you buy a purse of $5,000 then it peels? It should never peel. It better be generating money. I'm never going to buy those things. Those are years ago when I bought it. So it means that literally $5,000 of my life, or no, that one was $3,000. $3,000 of my life was what was peeling away. That I cannot even carry that purse anymore. But guess what? If I put that same $3,000 in an investment 3 years ago, with the rule of 72, at least that 3,000 will be nothing less than, it will be close to $5,000 right now. So, and that was when it clicked for me. And you probably would have heard the story for people that know me. Thank you for subscribing the YouTube channel. Thank you for following. And I'll say the story because it drives home the point. I wanted to buy a car 2 years ago in 2024, and it was expensive. I always say I like good things, but then my investment pays for it. It was pretty expensive. And I said, you know what? I cannot afford to take half of the year of, a whole 12 months. Then I take the money for a whole 12 months or a half 6 months of working. Then I take the money and go and buy a car. And everybody was like, Dr. Lina, you work so hard. Look, no, 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 no. And I say, yes, I agree. You deserve it. Yes, I deserve it, which is what they tell every one of us. That's what you tell yourself, the justification right now. Why you are spending that money. I need to pay. Then I said, okay, you know what? Yes, I agree. I deserve it. And that's why I want to buy it. And I said, it's either this car or not, nothing else. And I took the money. I said, how can it make sense in my head? How can it let it make sense? So I found a property. The property was 172,500. It was 172,500. Everything all in, including closing costs, everything and the fixing, because I bought it as is. Okay, those are the things that I'll be teaching in the class as well. I bought it as is. So it was I had to fix it, do some painting. It's not something major, you know, do some painting and all of that. And then everything all in was about 180,000. Okay. And then I said, okay, 180,000. And I figured that, okay, the rent, you could rent out for $2,000. So it was even way more than the 1% rule when it comes to real estate. When it comes to, buying a rental, okay. And then but that particular property, if I wanted to sell it at that point, it was, yes, yes. And when I wanted to sell it, at that point, it was worth 230,000. So at the point 2 years ago, it was worth 230,000. Today is worth 250,000. And guess what? I got it rented. It wasn't because I wanted it on time. I got it rented. It was rented at 1,900 because I gave it at a discount. And I bought it. I went ahead, signed the note, right? With the interest rate right now, is it a great time to buy an investment? Never time the market. Don't time the market. Instead of you trying to look at the interest rate, go and chase the deal. Because I bought properties at 7%. I have property way past 7%. I have property at 2% interest. I have the worst of it all is, the bank will tell me that we are just giving you this for free because I have property that is interest rate is at 1.75. 1.75 because I got some discount as a Chase private client. 1.75. That is ridiculous. And I did still buy, I was still buying, I bought at 1.75, I still bought at 7.6. So you can, but what is most important, and that's why I said the education is important. And that's what Mr. Lolo was saying earlier. Hey, the P5. That was what Mr. Lolo was saying earlier. You need to buy it right. A lot of people that fail in real estate is because they did not buy it right. That's one. Then two, they rented it, they did not get, in terms of renting part, the maintenance can be crazy if you do not get the right education. Some people will take advantage of you. It's not because it's a bad business, but just as with bad business, it's just like they will say that most employees, people don't work for the company. People work for their bosses. So you can say that you left your company. Some people leave the bosses, not the company. Company might be fantastic, but guess what? If you have a very terrible boss, you would still leave that company. You will still be frustrated in that company, just the same way. And that's the exact way I can describe real estate and even investing in general. If you put your money in the wrong stock, you buy penny stock and your money goes down, you say investing is bad. But if you put it in the right vehicle, like Mr. Gregory, like Mr. Lolo, like Mr. Kejam, you would realize that you can retire at 42, or you put it in a good business, right? You realize that you can build wealth. So I put it out on rent, back to my story, put it out, but it's a good question, Abby. Never a perfect, just focus on buying it right. Like I bought the one for 180,000, but guess what? Everything all in 180,000, but guess what? It was worth 230,000. Some people were still buying that same property at 230,000 at that time, but I did not. I waited for the one that I wanted to buy that fit my needs, that check all the check marks. Then I bought. So now this property has been rented for the past 2 years. It's a nurse that is in there right now with her babies. It's a three bedroom, 2.5 bath. Really, starter home, really nice in a great community. So guess what? Every single on the first, as she's paying me my rent, I am paying back for the car. I still have my beautiful car, and I still have the house. In another 1 year or two, I'll pay off the car, okay, because I'm accelerating the payment. Pay off the car. Guess what? I have the car. Even if the car depreciates, it's none of my business because I'm driving it for another 10 years. That's my goal. That's why I bought the solid car. So even if the new version or the year 2045 comes, I really don't care. I don't care because I am not trying to be rich. I mean, I am not trying to look rich. I am actually working towards being rich, or I am rich. Just think about because they're two different things. I'm not trying to impress anybody. And that's what I want to say. Let's change our mindset. Because your friend just bought a house doesn't mean you have to. No, you don't have to. You know your pocket. You can decide to take your money and put it in an investment property, or you can decide to say, okay, you can still use the one stone to kill two birds by saying that, okay, instead of me buying that big house of 600,000 or 700,000, just go and buy a duplex. I mean, you only have two kids. You have two kids, but you are buying a 5 bedroom because you are earning 300,000. Hello, it's good. That if you already have a lot of investment that is going to fund it. Okay, you have a lot of investment that is going to fund it. Okay, thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for sharing, and thank you all for the likes. Thank you for the follow. Awesome. Any questions? So that's it. So that's I talked about the four pillars, right? Your skill comes first, because that's your starting point. You have your smart investing, which is the second. Then third, you have your real estate, okay? Because that's the way it worked for me, and that's what I'm sharing. Then number four pillar is the financial fortress. Number one, you have your financial discipline. Okay. Number two is financial planning. Think about trust. Think about your insurance. Think about emergency fund because you also need to put structure. Then you also have your financial literacy. Get education. That's what we talked about. Trust me, by the time you put all this together, we are chasing one thing, right? Financial freedom. Financial freedom. And financial freedom doesn't mean that end your 9 to 5. No, it doesn't. It just gives you peace of mind to say that if I want to be free, you are just free. Join late. Do you offer classes on how to start real estate business? Not at the moment. Okay, but I'm doing free class. Like I said, I'm doing free class, one-time class for every, I'll be if you haven't followed, you want to do that. I'm just trying to have the structure together so that we can have it as seamless as possible, right? Have everybody on the different platforms and get this training done. Okay. So yeah, but I have a free coaching. I mean, I have a one-on-one coaching. You can get the link in my bio. So if you want something like that, but the training is going to be free on the real estate. It's going to be like me, doing community service, or what do they call it? Giving back to the society, because I'm going to be teaching what I've learned, whatever, show you some of the deals that I've worked. It might not be super relevant except for the one that we bought last year that might be super relevant, but some of them might be, well, it will still be relevant. Most of them will still be relevant. The ones that we bought last year, 2 years ago, we analyze deals. You'll be able to analyze those. Then I'll tell you some of my eviction stories. So it's not been like I would deceive you if everything has been rosy. I've lost money in the stock market. It's going to be either end of this month or beginning of April. We've not fixed the day. So if you haven't followed, consider following. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing for the free real estate training. For the free real estate training. So that's what I'll let you know. I just want to make sure. Mary St. Clair, welcome. Mary St. Clair, welcome. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Any other question? Any other question so that we can wrap this up? Any other question? And I hope I was able to add value because my goal is ultimately adding value. If you're taking 2 hours of a time, or you are, I hope you were able to get one or two things, and you agree that um, you find it helpful. I hope this is very helpful because you agree that the wealthy, now you know where they put their money. Now you know that you can reapply the same thing and you get the same result. That is because that's my goal. Okay, that's our goal. Mabel, Abby, the P5, OC Osunde, Wemi, Badu, Roots Legacy, G's, Jonas, Motto. Thank you all for um, hanging out today. I hope you learn one or two things, and now you would be making sure that your money is working harder than you do. I hope so. I hope so. Awesome. Great, 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 great. Thanks for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. Um, all right. Okay. It's Wednesday. Guess what? If you are just still looking at this is the spiritual side of me as I for the next 1 minute. The spiritual side of me just says I should tell you, thank you. To tell you that if you are still waiting and you just think it's just the beginning of the year, let me tell you that you're already so it's already the middle of the first quarter. You're welcome, Wemi. Welcome, Abby. The begin is the if you are ready by the end of in another what's today? In another 19 days. You say that, Dr. Lina, you are bad. In another 19 days, it's going to be already the first quarter, the end of first quarter. And then we're going to get into summer. And you'll be like, okay, I will do it. I will. Procrastination is the thief of joy. It's the thief of wealth, of greatness. When is the right time to refinance your house? I wouldn't say there is okay, your house. Okay. Right now, I am not still refinancing. I'm still looking. Okay, because we do have some houses that are above 7%, and they reach out to us every single time. I'm still waiting to see if we can see it on the in the fives, right? That's what I'm still waiting for. But instead, what we are doing differently is we are putting more towards the the principal. Okay, so if you put you put like 10 you every single month, I mean every instead of you paying every month, you can do every bi-weekly, so you have 26 weeks, you pay 26 times instead of doing every month, or you pay one extra. That shaves off the number of years on your property, on your mortgage. So that's what we are doing. So once we start seeing it in the fives, then I can start, making it make sense. The reason why is, remember, whenever you do a refinance, what happens is you're going to be paying closing cost. So you have to make sure that that closing cost, it's what more than, I mean, the discount that you're getting, or the reduction, makes more sense to cover that cost. Long time it would make sense, but there's a way they do the calculation. You can just tell them, you can tell your lender what you can do. Check with your lender. I know, like Rocket Mortgage, they do this. You can check with your lender and tell them that, can you do an analysis? It's up, yeah. Oh, is your primary residence paid off? If not, do you plan on paying it off early? So our first one that we bought, which was our initial primary residence, that's almost done. Because at some point, initially we did 15 years. That's the one we bought 2016. We did 15 years, then we refinanced, and that's the one that is like 2%. So we're still considering. No, it's the one that's 1.75, because it's almost like free money. We have less than 100,000 there right now, even though it's what over, that's a lot of equity. So I'm not, we probably will leave that and just not, because it's almost free money. But the other, when we move to a forever home, yes, the plan is we probably would, we, we plan to pay it off early for sure. For sure. We plan to pay it off early. However, yeah, absolutely nobody. Bye. Um, However, the thing is, we whatever strategy I told you right now is what we're using to pay an additional every single year, right, towards the principal, or do 26 months. We do additional every single year, and then if anytime we just have extra, we put it towards the principal. That's what we're doing. you know that's what we're doing, and we just started doing that because before now we were just expanding when it comes to real estate, because almost every year we're buying properties every single year. But now is when we said, okay, we have gotten to that place, we've gotten to that place, and we now said, okay, now we're paying. Remember, for those that have been here, when I showed the strategy of how to become a millionaire in 10 years, 5 years, become a millionaire in asset in 5 years, but a net worth millionaire in 10 years, right? The same strategy is what we use, such that you by year, when you get to a certain number of properties, then you start paying back, so that you do not over leverage. Just in case something happens, like a 2008 bubbles or whatever, your even if the houses goes if property goes down or whatever, you are still fine. Or if you have vacancy, you can still pay it off. I mean, you are still able to pay. You are not owing so much. You're not over leveraging, because that's what is killing a lot of people. You know, you're not biting much more than you can chew. So yeah, that you're giving, you have a gift in another area. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I have so many gifts, by the way. If yeah, awesome, 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 awesome. I hope that answers your question. So I think you just basically need to you can just pay extra towards it, but let them do that calculation for you. All right? Let them do that calculation for you. All right, okay. All right. Any other question before we wrap up? Any other question? Any other question? Thank you so much for the likes. Any other question? Can we tap out that to 2000? I know we were all locked in today, and I did not, I got carried away myself, and I did not remind people a lot that we need to tap out. And the YT community, thank you for all for connecting. We'll be wrapping up now. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lena. And for the GT community, I also have my YouTube channel, which is Money Talk with Dr. Lina. It has so many free resources. I always say that, do have free resources, okay? Get free resources that is out there. What do you think about forward? Absolutely. If so far, do it to the level that your employer is matching, because that is you investing for your future. Have any free money, we are taking it, right? If your employer is going to be matching up to 3%, 5%, do it to that level, right? Then remaining one, put it in your Roth IRA, put it in your, I mean, yeah, Roth IRA, put it in your brokerage. Okay, so that's what I do. Okay, that's what I do. Whatever they are matching. One of my previous employer did match up to, they matched the first 6%, then they matched another 3%. I think is it at the beginning of the year or something. I don't know. So I was doing almost 9%. So whatever they're doing that they're going to match, because that's free money, I would do that. So for sure, 401k for sure, because it's for your future self in retirement. Yeah, so you want to do the 3%. Do the 3%, and then still do, if you can, also if you qualify for Roth IRA, do that as well. The Roth IRA, you can put up to like 7,500, but it doesn't have to be the 70. I'm doing 8% now. Is there a reason why you are doing 8%? Because if they're only matching 3%, I would rather put 3% that they are matching, and then I take the remaining 5% and put it in Roth IRA and let it grow tax free. That's what I would do. you know, I would do if you're comfortably doing 8%, I'll put 3% in. I'll match the three. I will get the 3% they are giving me, because that gives me 6% of my income, right? 3% from them, 3% from what I'm putting. That's towards my retirement. Then the remaining 5% out of the 8%, I'll put it in Roth IRA, because then that one grows tax free. Remember, the 401k would not grow tax free. It's going to be taxed with capital gain. I don't know much. I just, a lot. Well, trust me, you are doing a lot more than a lot of people. So check with your HR and tell them you want to, open a Roth IRA, or you go and open a Roth IRA. Okay, then I mean, you're doing a lot. You're doing so well, by the way, because all you have to do right now is reclass. That's all you have to do. So you just put 3% in there, and then you have 5% in Roth IRA. Can you also do Roth IRA? I think some employers do Roth IRA, but I would rather even say, if it's possible, just do it yourself, because you have control over it, right? You have control over it than when your employer. And even with the Roth IRA, ask them, can you put your things yourself? Or is it, if they have the Roth IRA, still ask them, is it something that you can manage yourself, like, or can you choose what goes into that Roth, if they have it? If they don't, then, because you want to be able to control it as much as possible, put it in the S&P 500. You said, what do you think about crypto? Well, I bought crypto a long time ago. That's when I bought it, when it was like 23,000. I was buying bits by bits. That's when 13,000, like, that's when I bought it. So, but right now, I know it went all the way to 120. Right now, I don't know what it is today. The last time I saw it was 60 something thousand. So the chances of it going up is still there, the potential. But I will not put money that I cannot risk, right? I will not put it. And if I'm putting money in crypto, I'm not going to do Bitcoin. I'm not going to do any other one, because that's the one, Bitcoin, or what's the other one? Those old ones, right? Trust me, I'm old school, and maybe because I've lost money in the stock market, right? I've lost money in the stock market, so it doesn't make me want to. It doesn't want me to invest. I mean, put money in risky things. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question, G's. I hope he answered your question. Yeah, but definitely it's something that you can put money into, So far, just do your own research. But it's, like I said, I bought it when it was pretty, pretty, pretty cheap, and I was buying it. I was dollar cost averaging. I was dollar cost averaging. Yeah. So that's what I would. But right now, it might still be But don't put. I wouldn't put so much that I don't know. But and I'll solely put it on Bitcoin. Yeah.